Parshat Yitro 5:7-8-4. Trying to stand here in Gishmei of Eretz Yisrael, in the winds of Eretz Yisrael, obviously davening for the tzmichat geulatenu through the rain, and really trying to connect this atmosphere of the winds and the rain that are surrounding to the parsha that we're in. The parsha should Be'ezrat Hashem be for the hatzlacha of our soldiers, for the returning of every single one of our lost brothers and sisters, and for the true nechama, or as much nechama as possible, to the mishpachot shakulot that are everywhere in Eretz Yisrael and need so much comforting and consolation. So the parsha begins in the journey of Yitro to Ma'amad Har Sinai. And it says, Vayishma Yitro choten Moshe et kol asher asa Hashem liYisrael, about Yetziat Mitzrayim. And so the pasuk is a very simple one. What caused Yitro to want to come to Har Sinai was that he heard about Yetziat Mitzrayim. But in a very weird way, that the PSS, the Rebbe, paid attention to, sitting in the Warsaw ghetto, he asks, Mashmu Ashama Viba. What did he hear and come to Ma'amad Har Sinai, to the Jewish people? And on a certain level, it's such a simple answer. The pasuk says, he heard about Yetziat Mitzrayim. Says the PSS, the Rebbe, you don't understand Rashi's question. Rashi knows why Yitro wants to receive the Torah, because of Yetziat Mitzrayim. But really, that's not the question of Rashi. Mashmu Ashama Viba. Says the PSS, the Rebbe, Rashi is asking, why did he come to the desert? Why did he have to go to a place that's hot and sweaty and difficult? Why can't he just send a messenger to give him the information of the Torah? The guy's a leader. The guy's a Kohen of Midian. He could just send a couple of chevra. They could teach him the Torah. He could get the information. Why does he have to go through this difficult path of leaving his home and going in to the desert? And I think just before we give the answer, just to relate this back to our times, what we're dealing with and where we're in, the fact that there's Yetziat Mitzrayim, that Hashem runs the world, is maybe something that brings us in to the connection with Hashem. But it doesn't stop the fact that there's still a midbar, there's still doubts and questions and a broken world that every one of us are faced with on a second basis, on a minute basis, in the time since Simchat Torah, all the time. And so the PSS Rebbe says that this is really what Rashi is saying. Not why did he want to come to Har Sinai, but why did he come to the desert? And his answer is that Mashmu Shama Viba. Why did he come to the desert? Because of Milchemet Amalek and Kriyat Yamsuf. And so what's the difference between Yetziat Mitzrayim versus Kriyat Yamsuf and Milchemet Amalek? Yetziat Mitzrayim was where we acknowledged Hashem. Whereas Kriyat Yamsuf said, just because we found Hashem doesn't mean that the world became perfect in a second. There's still Kriyat Yamsuf. There's still Amalek. And there's a need to recognize that although we might know about Hashem's perfect, we have to understand that the world that we're in is not. It's broken. It's imperfect. It's full of doubts and questions and difficulties and tears. And so therefore, Rashi, through the PSS Rebbe, is saying, why did he come out to the difficulty? And it's where he realized that Yetziat Mitzrayim was a good beginning, but it's a terrible end. Just because we know about Hashem in the Beit Midrash does not permit us to not get involved in B'lech Techa B'derech. It doesn't permit us to not extend and relate and continue the ideas and the messages from above and relate them to the brokenness down below. And the bracha Be'ezrat Hashem, when we're dealing with Ma'amad Har Sinai, that's bringing Hashem back to the world, the most important thing to remember is not the idea, but that the greatest ideal that doesn't relate to the real is not an ideal. The ideal is something that is perfect, and the real is imperfect, but they need each other. And we have to have the strength in our own personal lives, in our families, in our jobs, with our friends, with everyone we meet in our shul, to be able to bring the beautiful messages and extend them and relate them to the brokenness that we're experiencing in the world today.